to say my prayers in bed because of the cold. While I was writing, I did not once think how I felt. Well, I jumped up as soon as I heard the bell, but I found I had a dreadful pain in my side and a cough. Susan says I coughed all night. I remembered then that I had just such a cough and just such a pain the last time I walked in the snow without overshoes. I crept back to bed, feeling about as mean as I could. Mother sent up to know why I could not come down. I had to own that I was sick. She came up directly, looking so anxious, and here I have been shut up ever since. Only today I am sitting up a little. Poor mother has had trouble enough with me. I know I have been cross and unreasonable, and it was all my own fault that I was ill. Another time I will do as mother says. January 31st. How easy it is to make good resolutions, and how easy it is to break them. Just as I had got so far yesterday, mother spoke for the third time about my exerting myself so much, and just at that moment I fainted away, and she had a great time all alone there with me. I did not realize how long I had been writing, nor how weak I was. I do wonder if I shall ever really learn that mother knows more than I do. February 17th. It is more than a month since I took that cold, and here I still am, shut up in the house. To be sure, the doctor lets me go downstairs, but he won't listen to a word about school. Oh dear, all the girls will get ahead of me. This is Sunday, and everybody has gone to church. I thought I ought to make good use of the time while they were gone. So I took up the memoir of Henry Martyn and read a little in that. I am afraid I am not much like him. Then I knelt down and tried to pray, but my mind was full of all sorts of things, so I thought I would just wait until I was in a better frame. At noon I disputed with James about the name of an apple. He was very provoking, and said he was thankful he had not got such a temper as I had. I cried, and mother reproved him for teasing me, saying my illness had left me nervous and irritable. James replied that it had left me where it had found me then. I cried a good while, lying on the sofa, and then I fell asleep. I don't see that I am any better for this Sunday. It has only made me feel unhappy and out of sorts. I am sure I pray to God to make me better, and why doesn't he? February 20th. It has been quite a mild day for the season, and the doctor said I might drive out. I enjoyed getting the air very much. I feel just as well as ever, and long to get back to school. I think God has been very good to me in making me well again. I wish I loved him better. But, oh, I am not sure that I do love him. I hate to own it to myself and to write it down here, but I will. I do not love to pray, and I am always eager to get it over with and out of the way, so as to have leisure to enjoy myself. I mean that this is usually so. This morning I cried a good deal while I was on my knees, and felt sorry for my quick temper and all my bad ways. If I always felt so, perhaps praying would not be such a task. I wish I knew whether anybody exactly as bad as I am ever got to heaven at last. I have read ever so many memoirs, and they were all about the people who were too good to live and so died, or else went on a mission. I am not at all like any of them. March 26th. I have been so busy that I have not said much to you, my poor old journal, have I? Somehow I have been behaving quite nicely lately. Everything has gone on exactly to my mind. Mother has not found fault with me once, and father has praised my drawings and seemed proud of me. He says he shall not tell me what my teachers said of me, lest it make me vain, and once or twice when he has caught me singing and frisking about the house, he kissed me and called me his dear little flibbertigibbet, if that's the way you spell it. When he says that, I know he is very fond of me. We are all happy together when nothing goes wrong. In the long evenings we all sit round the table with our books and our work, and one of us reads aloud. Mother chooses the book and takes her turn in reading. She reads beautifully. Of course the readings do not begin till lessons are all learned. As to me, my lessons just take no time at all. I have only to read them over once, and there they are. So I have a good deal of time to read, and I devour all the poetry I can get hold of. I would rather read Pollock's Course of Time than read nothing at all. April 2nd. There are 3 of Mother's friends living near us. Each have lots of little children. It is perfectly ridiculous how much those creatures are sick. They send for Mother if so much as a pimple comes across one of their faces. When I have children, I don't mean to have such going-ons. I shall be careful about what they eat and keep them from getting cold, and they will keep well of their own accord. Mrs. Jones has just sent for Mother to see her Tommy. It was so provoking. I had coaxed her into letting me have a little black silk apron. They are all the fashion now, embroidered in floss silk. I had drawn a lovely vine for mine entirely out of my own head, and Mother was going to arrange the pattern for me when that message came and she had to go. I don't believe anything ails that child, a great chubby thing. April 3rd. Poor Mrs. Jones! Her little Tommy is dead. I stayed at home from school today, and had all the other children here to get them out of their mother's way. How dreadfully she must feel! Mother cried when she told me how the dear little fellow suffered in his last moments. It reminded her of one of my little brothers who died in the same way, just before I was born. Dear Mother! I wonder I ever forget what troubles she has had, and am not always sweet and loving. She has gone now, where she always goes when she feels sad, straight to God. Of course she did not say so, but I know my mother. April 25th. I have not been down in season once this week. I have persuaded Mother to let me read some of Scott's novels, and have sat up late and been sleepy in the morning. I wish I could get along with Mother as nicely as James does. He is late far oftener than I, but he never gets into such scrapes as I do. This is what happens. He comes down just when it suits him. Mother begins, "James, I am very much displeased with you." James, "I should think you would be, Mother." Mother, mollified, "I don't think you deserve any breakfast." James, hypocritically, "No, I don't think I do, Mother." Then Mother hurries off and gets something extra for his breakfast. Now let's see how things go on when I am late. Mother, "Catherine," she always calls me Catherine when she is displeased, and spells it with a K. "Catherine, you are late again. How can you annoy your father so?" Catherine, "Of course I don't do it to annoy father or anybody else, but if I oversleep myself it is not my fault." Mother, "I would go to bed at 8 o'clock, rather than be late as often as you are. How should you like it if I were not down to prayers?" Catherine, muttering, "Of course that is very different. I don't see why I should be blamed for oversleeping any more than James. I get all the scoldings." Mother sighs and goes off. I prowl around and get what scraps of breakfast I can. May 12th. The weather is getting perfectly delicious. I am sitting with my window open, and my bird is singing with all his heart. I wish I was as gay as he is. I have been thinking lately that it was about time to begin on some of those pieces of self-denial I resolved upon on my birthday. I could not think of anything great enough for a long time. At last an idea popped in my head. Half the girls at school envy me because Amelia is so fond of me, and Jane Underhill, in particular, is just as crazy to get intimate with her. But I have kept Amelia all to myself. Today I said to her, "Amelia, Jane Underhill admires you above all things. I have a good mind to let you be as intimate with her as you are with me. It will be such a great piece of self-denial, but I think it is my duty. She is a stranger, and nobody else seems to like her much." "You dear thing!" cried Amelia, kissing me. "I liked Jane Underhill the moment I saw her. She has such a sweet face, and such pleasant manners. But you are so jealous I never dared show how I like her. Don't be vexed, dearie. If you are jealous, it is your only fault." She then rushed off, and I saw her kiss that girl exactly as she kisses me. This was in recess. I went to my desk and made believe that I was studying. Pretty soon Amelia came back. "She is such a sweet girl," she said. "And only to think, she writes poetry. Just hear this. It is a little poem addressed to me.